I'm Maria Hall Brown. Today on LA Currents, LA's Department on Disability spotlights the city preparations for the 2028 Olympic and Paralympic Games, making them the most inclusive games to date. Later, Nisei Week's Grand Parade celebrates Japanese-American heritage on the streets of Little Tokyo. But first, there's no doubt that firefighting is a challenging career. The Los Angeles Fire Department gets 1,500 calls a day on an average. Only months after retiring, Ronnie Villanueva answered the call to serve as the Interim Chief of the LAFD.
I retired and thought that I had hit the top of my career, the pinnacle of my career, and these fires happened, and I was asked to come back to help. And I said, well, of course, I'm not going to say no.
Los Angeles is battling the most destructive wildfires in the state's history.
During that time, the mayor asked me to come back as the interim chief, and here I am.
Our heroic firefighters are in the experienced and expert hands of Chief Villanueva.
I have to tell you, when she asked me to do that, it was a great honor for me. My family, even at the swearing in, were in tears. And just so proud. The love that I have for this department is the reason I'm coming back. Leading them is an honor of a lifetime. For me, when I'm no longer on this earth, I could say that I ran one of the largest and best fire departments in the world. To me, it's the greatest job in the world. If I had to do it all over again, I am doing it all over again because I got called back once again. Thank you very much. I have a radio in my office, so I monitor just about everything. First thing that pops in my head is safety. For the young firefighters that are out there, know your profession, be passionate about it, and be very good at it, because a lot of people are relying on you. The public, your family, and your comrades. Another thing that I tell these young firefighters, I mean this, when you walk through that threshold of a fire station in the morning at relief, game's on. It might be laughing, scratching, but game is on. You have to know your equipment, you have to be good at that, you have to check it every single morning. If you have issues that are going on in your family, your life, or whatever, you have to leave them at the door. Because if you're not focused at night, something bad could go wrong, and you need to be 100% focused on that mission. You truly have to be passionate about this craft. That's kind of the essence of who we are as a fire department and the profession of being a firefighter. And so you have to be the best of the best. We average 1,500 calls a day, 600 transports. That's just an average. I know there's days that we have over 2,000 calls a day and we have over 750 transports. We want to make sure that we respond quickly, that we're well trained, we're prepared, we're calm, we're able to be decisive in our actions, to take care of ourselves, our fellow workers, and the public that we serve. The fire service is a dangerous job. It could be glamorous at times, to where, oh, you're the firefighters and everybody's waving at you and it's all great. But I had a friend of mine, actually grew up with him. His name was Ben Pinnell. And he died in a Proud Bird fire in 1984. I think it was 5 o'clock in the morning. And then you get that phone call. There was a firefighter fatality and Ben died. What goes through my mind is that I see his daughter all the time. She was just a baby at that time. from the past, we would never, ever say that we needed help. We could see the most gruesome things, and I'm good. You know, Cap might come in and say, hey, you guys good? We just saw this, pretty bad incident here. We're all good. Today, the firefighter, the captains, all the members, they're much more aware that we have behavioral health. We have department psychologists, we have therapists, we have people that can help you, and people are more courageous and brave today to say, I need help. And that, to me, hats off to you. We remain in heightened state of readiness. Your Los Angeles Fire Department has coordinated closely with neighboring agencies and partners to ensure a prompt and effective response in the event of a major incident. You know, the drones are such a great tool. Let's just say we had a grass fire, and we put it out. So now we're going to do a fire watch. Before, we would have engine companies sitting out there, on the, just for an example, on the north side, the south side, the east side, and the west side. We put an engine there and make sure this thing doesn't spark up. Well, now we can have the drones out there to check it out and reduce all those companies that we need out there. Ferris and Wildfire, those are applications and program software where we can actually see where a fire is. We can see where it is, where it started, where it's going, timelines of 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 10 hour. So it gives us that opportunity to be able to deploy resources where they're most needed. I mean, and now it's more scientific. It's not a guessing game. We used to, back in the day, have this fire triangle that we used to basically put our fingers out and go 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, right? And now we have these applications that actually are telling us where the fire is going to be. So yeah, it's come a long way with technology. Another thing that we have is the alert weather stations. They give us real-time weather. So, and they're in different parts of the city. We have them in the Santa Monica Mountains, Angeles National Forest. We have them in the city. They're all over the place. And those are good tools to be able to use to give us situational awareness, especially during inclement weather. These tools enhance our ability to respond faster, to operate more safely, and better protect the people of Los Angeles.
The American Heart Association states that approximately 1,000 people in the United States suffer from a sudden cardiac arrest every single day. And tragically, 90% of those are fatal.
We have this Lucas device. It's an apparatus, a machine that you apply to a person, and it does high-quality compressions for a cardiac arrest. And that is huge, and it has already saved many, many lives.
Please, God, don't take her. I just remember walking out of the bedroom, thanking God that help was there, and praying they would be able to save my mom. Thank you for saving our mom.
To the family, I believe you probably hugged Janet a whole bunch of times. I see the emotion over there, so that piece of equipment is a lifesaver. It's phenomenal. I've always said that when the smile turns upside down, it's time for me to leave. And after over 41 years, it never turned upside down.
Significant progress has been made in the 35 years since the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act. As part of Disability Pride Month, Stephen David Simon of the Department on Disability highlights that designing for accessibility and making people the priority will have benefits long after the 2028 Olympic Games.
People with disabilities make up between 20% and 25% of people in Los Angeles. Whether they were born with a disability, whether they have a temporary disability, whether they acquire disability with aging. Disability is one of the greatest intersectors of all other parts of society, whether it's race or gender or sexuality or age. There are people with disabilities literally in every other grouping of people, right? And it's somehow, even though that's true, the rights and equality for people with disabilities is still too often an afterthought. Every time we try and address an issue like housing, we need to be talking accessibility. Every time we address an issue like the digital divide and people not being able to afford internet access, we need to be talking accessibility. Every time we talk policing, police need to know how to talk to deaf people, how to work with people with mental health issues, right? Everything we do that's a public policy issue in the United States of America, really globally, needs to be and is an accessibility issue. People understand that there is a compliance, a regulatory legal requirement to make things accessible, and that's the ADA, and this is the 35th anniversary of the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. That requirement exists, but also we have a moral and ethical obligation to literally make every program, every service, every facility of the City of Los Angeles accessible and inclusive of people with disability. We've done some incredible work on that. We've gone really far, but we still have a long way to go. Disability Pride Month is so important because, again, we're trying to change attitude and understanding. People with disabilities historically have been treated with something we call the medical model, that there's something wrong with you and it's something that needs to be fixed. And we've fought a long time to move to something that's more of a social model, which is, I have a disability, it's part of who I am, maybe I need care or treatment for it, maybe, but it's not something I'm unhappy about. It's not something I'm sad about. It's not something that's literally bad about me. It's a key part of who I am, just like any other sort of, demographic descriptive of who I am. So as much as I'm a black person, I'm a person with a disability, right? As much as I'm a senior now, I'm about to turn 60, I'm a person with a disability. And that energy, that sense of, not only am I not embarrassed by a disability, I'm proud of having a disability. It's part of who I am, and it helps me build the community around me. The deaf community is an extremely strong community, deaf and hard of hearing community, the blind and low vision community, strong community. People with developmental disabilities, for example, strong community there. But we also want to be part of really everyday society, and particularly civil society. And so access as part of equity, sort of fairness. We can't really have a seat at the table if we literally can't get to the table. So Disability Pride Month is so important to us. I'm so glad the mayor has really tied for Los Angeles Disability Pride Month with the 35th anniversary of the ADA, tied also with the games that are coming to Los Angeles, the Olympics and Paralympic Games. Working all together, we can really make that kind of change. When Mayor Bass announced a formal city commitment to accessibility ahead of the Games, that goes miles to show that this is an absolute city priority. That's a game changer for us.
We are developing and overseeing in the city the implementation of a Games accessibility plan to ensure that every city department prepares for the Games in a way that is efficient and accessible to all Angelinos.
I very much hope that the next 3 years will be focusing on preparation for those games in a way that will leave a lasting legacy for generations in the development of our infrastructure, improvements to our public right-of-way. That's a commitment that the mayor made today, and it's a commitment that we're going to fulfill over the next 3 years.
Myself, as someone who had an orthopedic condition that was visibly in my legs from age 2 to 12 until I had a major surgery, I know exactly what it's like to face mobility challenges.
We have our partners here from LA28, making sure that we continue the conversation of accessibility as we build out these facilities.
So LA has seen its third Olympic Games. This will be our first Paralympics. But it's not just the first Paralympic, it's going to be the largest Paralympics the world has literally ever seen. And so this is our opportunity to shine, looking at great work that's happened in Paris, great work that's happened in London, and truly make the Paralympics as big an event as the Olympics are. So people know to always say the Paralympics and the Olympics. They are extraordinary, independent events that tie together. I think we're going to see a different Los Angeles before you get to the Games. Understanding access and inclusion is a struggle for a lot of folks. A lot of it is just awareness, but it's getting people to sort of stop, stand back, and think about the privilege most of us have in accessing places. You want to tell us to walk over there to do our next piece? Most of us can walk over there and do it. We need to think, wow, did I have to step up steps? And is that the only way to get into this restaurant? Is that the only way to get into this pool, right? Our locker room's accessible. If we can get people's mindset to really be aware of all the barriers that are constantly around us, I think we can really change the game. We work with every single city department. We're trying to create a world where every department knows that all their programs and services and facilities need to be accessible, that they will own that. They will make it accessible, and if they can't make it accessible, they will still try and serve every client with disability to the best of their abilities, and if they need technical assistance from us, then we can follow up and provide support. Our goal is to normalize. I mean, I like that word because in disability culture, the word normal is usually a bad word because it gets compared like people with disabilities aren't normal. But normalizing accessibility, normalizing inclusion is our goal. True equity, inclusion can't possibly happen for most people with disabilities if literally people with disabilities cannot get into the spaces they need to be in. So literally getting in the door, getting down the sidewalk, getting on the bus, getting on the train, getting the message, getting the announcement that the meeting's happening. All these things are about access. And if people have that access, they then have the greater capacity to actually build true equity. It's something, again, that needs to be built in to everything we do as a city. LA has the capacity, easily I would argue, to be the most accessible big city in America. Now, I don't know that we're not, because I have a running competition with my partners in New York, Chicago, Boston, and San Francisco in particular, for us all competing for the most accessible big city in America. But we're not there. None of us are there yet, right? And all those cities are so very different. We have different challenges. But we get together every month and we talk best practices. We talk about what we can do that every new building that's built, every sidewalk that's repaired, every new housing complex that goes up, building new housing because of the horrible fires we had last January, that everything we can make accessible is accessible from the get-go. It's part of the planning. It is not an afterthought. It's not something to be fixed or remediated. It's done right in the first place. And honestly, I think the games are going to bring the resources and the attention from the world and the attention for all Angelenos to these kind of issues that we can really change that dynamic in ways that have never happened. So I do think after the games and perhaps that decade after, we're going to see a Los Angeles that is truly accessible and inclusive for all. And that's absolutely my goal. So many things that were created for accessibility are things that are just absolutely common and serve everybody in community. So curb ramps at the corners or in front of a supermarket help people with shopping carts, people with baby carriages, right? It's not just for people with disabilities. Voice to text, right? That's something that most people on their computers are using all the time, certainly on their phones. That was created as an accessibility accommodation. I think it's safe to say literally every accessibility accommodation that's been created ultimately gets absorbed by general culture as something that is just helpful and good for everyone. So if people could recognize that, if we reduced barriers, it makes our communities, our landscape better for everyone. The Department on Disability is heightening our technical compliance work. That's literally evaluating every building that the City of Los Angeles owns or operates programs in, evaluating them for accessibility. I think we're up to 15,000 by now. And then creating a plan, a transition plan that will actually be a multi-year plan to actually repair, to fix all those barriers. So that's a key program that the department is working on. You can reach us through our website at disability.lacity.gov.
At the Nisei Week Japanese Festival, the 2025 theme is gratitude. Appreciating the enduring legacy of this district has never been more important. Little Tokyo's Japanese American community perseveres, continues to honor its heritage, and brings cultural celebrations to the streets with the Nisei Week Parade.
It is 1
wonderful to see you all out here today, and it's wonderful to be in our great city of Los Angeles.
We're kicking off Nisei Week here in Little Tokyo, celebrating our Japanese American community. The theme for this year is Kancha, which is gratitude.
It's just a celebration of all the Japanese Americans who have been in LA over 100 years, actually. And it's just a reminder of all the things that we need to cherish about this place and about our culture.
A lot of people in the Los Angeles are not aware of this event. It's actually every year.
You don't ever want to lose your cultural heritage. It's important to keep that identity. And so this event helps to reinforce that on a regular basis.
It's important to have these parades in large part because it's a way for people to learn more about the culture and to be appreciative and in tune with what the community wants, right? It's important to lead from community, and that's what the Japanese American Heritage and Nisei Week is all about.
Yeah, it's a great way to support the Japanese community here in Los Angeles.
It's important for representation. I think that kind of the state of our country right now, I think having this representation to showcase like inclusivity and that we care about our community, it helps to bring people and community together.
Celebrating diversity, definitely.
Yes, for sure. That's why we're here.
Living in such a diverse city, we're so lucky to have all of these wonderful cultures around us that we can experience, and I think coming to events like these, you really get to feel, the things you don't get to see in your everyday life.
The court of Nisei Week was just crowned last night, and so you'll see them come on a float.
So I'm excited to see all the Nisei queens and princesses.
I'm really excited to see the winners from the beauty pageant. They're my favorite part of the parade.
We went to Tokyo earlier this year, and being in Little Tokyo is just like a little snippet of actually being in Tokyo.
I've been coming to Little Tokyo since 1968, I guess. And it's changed greatly, but it's still really as far as I'm concerned, the heart of Los Angeles and the jewel of Los Angeles. And I feel very privileged to be a part of this.
LA is a melting pot, and so to have our vibrant communities represented, especially in these times where we've been devastated by immigration ICE raids, now more than ever, just so excited to be here to celebrate the diversity, which is the strength of our city.
I'm a part of the Montebello Ashita Sister City Association, and it's a cross-cultural exchange between Japan and Montebello. I went to Japan last year and participated in this cultural exchange. It's really important to us and our association to participate. I think it's important that we have this every single year because it allows for people that aren't like me and don't have the opportunity to go to Japan to still see the culture and the beauty of this other culture.
I'm here representing LA Kimono Club. I will be in the parade. I myself is wearing kimono to communicate with my Japanese culture to the Western people with how beautiful with this kimono, and then they can get the spirit.
You'll see all sorts of other Japanese American cultural organizations come through. There'll be dance groups, musical groups, and it's all to celebrate the Japanese American community here in Los Angeles.
If you want to experience a Japanese culture, this is a really good event to attend.
I love a live drum band, especially in a parade.
There are going to be lots of groups representing dancers, veterans, drummers, and anything you can imagine representing the Japanese American community.
there's a kind of like a newer generation of Japanese culture merging with American culture.
We want to continue the cultural heritage to the next generation.
I would say it's also an affirmation of the culture, which is significant for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is the incarceration in World War II that Issei and Nisei suffered. That's kind of a subtext to the entire Japanese-American experience.
It was a place where folks have historically been displaced, and yet the Japanese-American community here in LA have stood strong, fought off displacement, and they are vibrantly who they are. We have the Japanese-American Museum, which is the site of a former internment site, and yet now stands a museum that's a testament to their strength and diversity. They're not going to scrub their history away. Instead, they're using it to learn from and make sure that we all know it.
There are a lot of different places to go to and a lot of ways to learn more about the Japanese culture. There's your JACC museum. There's a lot down here that people can take advantage of.
Little Tokyo really is in need of support because some of the older residents have moved away. So it's really important to try to revitalize the business in this area.
Little Tokyo is experiencing so much in their community and losing a lot of the businesses that have been around for almost 100 years. And so it's really important for folks to come out and to support the community in this way.
Little Tokyo has the oldest ramen shop in America, Kuraku.
So we just wanted to come to Little Tokyo because this is one of our favorite spots, and we just love the culture, the food, the people, and we just like walking around and shopping here.
I think people need to know about the Japanese American culture, and this is also an important part of Los Angeles culture.
I think it just really helps to bring people together. I think the introduction of different cultures and learning about other people, other cultures, it's just an important educational aspect, altogether.
I think it's the most important thing for us to understand each other. So we love to be, enjoying what LA has to offer.
In America, we get caught up in things fast-paced a lot of the times, but I feel like in Japanese culture, they're a lot slower paced with things. Or traditional Japanese culture, they're a lot slower with things, and I think as an American, I can appreciate slowing things down.
I see people lined up on sidewalks just to be able to see the different floats and dancers go by, so it's great.
As council member for Little Tokyo and the Asian American woman, today is such an honor and a blessing.
Culture and people, that's what makes LA great. It's just a great way to keep the real culture of Los Angeles alive.
It's a parade that shows a lot of Japanese culture and a lot of things in the Little Tokyo community, and I think it's an extremely awesome opportunity that I can come out and watch this happen today.
I am so happy that the people from Los Angeles, they do appreciate this event.